um, I text everyone. We drive back, we're back in Austin, and I text everyone over at Joe Rogan's new club, the Comedy Mothership. I was going over there to check that place out, which I already saw, like most of you. I saw the videos on the internet. I was like, my God, this place looks amazing. And I went in there, and I'm not going to even just mince words here. That's the greatest comedy club I've ever been in. And I've been in some great ones. Caroline's. These are the best ones I was in before Joe's. Caroline's, Hilarities in Cleveland. Comics, the one that when it was in the meatpacking district went out of business. Gotham. The Stand. Those were like so nice. You're like, how is this still a comedy club? Because you're used to them being like smaller, holes in the wall or whatever, And I went to the Rogan one, and I don't even know where to begin. All I can tell is when you go in that place, you can tell that every fucking thing on the wall, on the floor, on the ceiling, sight lines, everything in that place was painstakingly gone over to make sure that it was absolutely perfect. And that's what I kept telling Joe. He goes, how do you like the club? And I was like, dude, it is fucking perfect. It's fucking perfect. You have to, like, the colors of the booth, the Mitzi's place, I think that's what it's called, the bar downstairs, the main room, the smaller room. I did sets Saturday and Sunday there in the smaller room, and I love that place. And Harlan Williams, what do you say there, Freckles? He was there in the main room, so I got to see him headline that place. And just the green room, the food, the whole thing was amazing. And I knew that he would have this option. I was like, if a comedian is designing the club, he's going to have the option that you can either deal with the crowd or not deal with the crowd. Meaning, when your set is over, if you want to go out and talk to the crowd, AKA you had a good set. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you pissed a few people off, and when you go behind the curtain, you just want to stay there, and you can get to the green room without having to deal with anybody. It is fucking amazing. But the coolest thing that combined two huge worlds of mine, stand-up comedy and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan, I guess, played that place when it was called the Ritz back in the day. And that's another thing. It was like a punk club, and he had for wallpaper in the green room all like the actual posters of all of these punk bands, Circle Jerks, Misfits, all of these classic bands. I'm not a big punk band guy. I'm not cool. I was listening to disco, as you heard when I was making fun of I was making fun of the Canadians. But Stevie Ray Vaughan played there in like 1983, and Joe somehow got somebody to find photos of him playing there. And for big Stevie Ray Vaughan fans, it was that time in his career right before he started wearing a cowboy hat on stage, and he had that sort of that not Kango style, I don't know what you call it, like the Brian Johnson style hat that he had when, right from when he was Stevie Ray Vaughan in Triple Threat, and he had a woman in the band before he got with Chris Layton, Tommy Shannon, Double Trouble, before they added Reese. Yeah, kind of into those guys. Anyway, he had these two amazing, like, life-size photos of Stevie Ray Vaughan. And Stevie Ray Vaughan is like one of those artists that I find transcends what he does. Like, he's so good at what he does, even though you don't, like, I tell jokes, I don't play guitar. He's so fucking good at it. It's like I want to get better at what I like. How do I become the Stevie Ray Vaughan of what I'm doing? Which obviously is impossible. I mean, that guy's a once in a century talent. But it does make you dig deeper and try to get better. So to see those pictures, and also just to know that you're in a place that guy played in. Like, I really feel that when you perform in a place like that, like whatever they did, the magic of it is somewhere there, if you're into that spiritual shit, which I actually am. So I went down there that night. Joe wasn't there, so I had to see him. So I made sure the next night I went down there again to hang out with him. But Adam Ray was down there too, one of my favorites, and I met a couple of comedians there. This guy William that was hosting, I never got his last name. He was funny as hell. And then I brought this kid up that I thought was great, named Miles Johnson. Was really funny. Just really, and the club also had open mic night, which is something that went away during my stand-up career. It was how an open mic night was crucial for new comedians, and it was crucial for the comedy clubs to keep, it was like the draft. You had to keep developing new comedians to keep the scene alive. And I always felt that one of the big mistakes that so many comedy clubs did was they stopped having open mic nights, and then it just became like the Dust Bowl, where you just keep farming on the same land until it's just, nothing grows there anymore, So that was another great thing. And it's right on 6th Street, and it's just, 6th Street's a little loud for me in my old ears, but like it is, you feel like that excitement of youth and that type of thing coming down the street. So that's another great energy to have in the club. I can't say, like, Joe absolutely fucking picked the perfect venue and crushed it. It's unbelievable. So anyway, so that all happens. That's Saturday. Killer show Friday at College Station. Which, by the way, Chris Layton, drummer for Stevie Ray Vaughan, came out to with one of his buddies. I'm dropping names all over the place. I don't give a fuck. All right, I'm still giddy. So that was Saturday. One of the greatest days on the road I've ever had. And then Sunday, we still get to go to the race. And we showed up, and all the races were great. I would say the best race of the day was the Moto 3 race, which I was so psyched because I haven't seen one of those races since they stopped having them on TV. They do have them on their website, but like I get so fucking busy that I only watch the MotoGP. So for those who don't watch the sport, there's Moto 3, Moto 2, and then the top level. And Moto 3 is like 17, 18-year-old future fucking, stars of MotoGP on their way up. And they all get the same engine. They almost look like those cafe racers. And it was this absolutely fucking insane race where this number 5, and I forget the other guy, they kept swapping the lead, and then the lead guy crashed. And he just sort of low-sided it on the like turn 14 or 16 or something like that, somewhere over there. And the dude right behind him, number 5, had to slow down. And in slowing down, he went from second and being on the podium to being like 5th or 6th. And there was only 2 laps to go. And dude, this guy, I don't know who this kid is, but he raced angry, man. He fucking just went all out, passed 2 guys in one fucking turn, I believe, and worked his way all the way back up to second place again. Crowd was going crazy. And then the next one was Moto 2. And I'm a Joe Roberts fan. I got to root for the Americans here. And he's got the red, white, and blue bike. And he was in, I think he was in 16th. And he got all the way up to 9th at one point. And I think there was something going on with the bike because he was riding great. But I got to watch him. He ran great. And that was another amazing race. And then the last one, the MotoGP one, was crazy because it was really windy. Like on Saturday it was hot, but on Saturday it was really windy. And like on the first lap, like 3 guys like just fucking wiped out. I don't know what was going on. Like they said something about the tire pressure in the front tire and the wind was just taking these guys out. And like I think like 9 riders went down, not getting bumped or anything, just going into a turn. And the bike just went out from underneath them, I think, with the wind or something like that. I have no idea. But on the first lap, like guy Fabio Giannantonio, whatever his name is, riding that light blue Ducati, he low-sided and then slid into his own teammate, Alex Marquez. Just took him right out. I mean, they couldn't have been more than 4 turns into the fucking race. And $2 million of motorcycles and an entire team were out. I forget who else wiped out. I don't know if it was Jack Miller or something like that. There was so many big names that went down. Of course, is it Pecco or Pekka? Francesco Bagnai. I don't know how to say his name. He was in first place. The second race in a row, he low-sided and didn't get any goddamn point. He did get to 25, I think, in the sprint race. But I'm totally back into this sport. I had a great time. Alex Rins ended up winning it. And they asked me the night before, they go, hey, do you want to present the trophy? Club Soda called me up. Hey, they want to know if you want to present the trophy. And I'm like, for what? They're like, the guy who wins the MotoGP. I'm like, they want me to do that? Doesn't that like a hot chick does that? They're like, they're asking you. And I always say no to that shit. I'm always like, nah, I'm not going to do that. That's I can barely ride a motorcycle. That's stupid. I shouldn't do that. That's outside my wheelhouse. But I was just like, I'll do that. I don't give a fuck, right? So I show up. The end of the race, they bring me down there. I'm standing behind the fucking podium, and I'm watching, like, these guys as they come in, first, second, and third place guy, and their team's going nuts, and they're all screaming and how psyched they are. I've always seen that on TV, but to see it live, the energy is crazy. On the other side, where I was sitting, I saw them bringing in all the bikes that wiped out on this sad little golf cart that brought it in on a trailer. So fucking funny, man, to see a bike that can go 220 fucking miles an hour getting brought in on a little golf cart, towed in.